Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn how you could access some form elements. So in the previous tutorial we have created a basic form and we have tried to access the particular form by using the document.form. Now in this tutorial we are going to go a little bit in depth and we are going to try and access the form elements so that we could use them for validation purposes. So now once again we are going to create a form by going into the body. So to create a form we just simply type the form tag for creating a form, and let's name the form as, let's say, new form. Now once we have the form with us, the next thing which we do is we go on adding elements. So elements in a form are nothing but basically the text box, the radio buttons, the check boxes, the submit button, whatever we want to add on them. So let's initially add a username. So we type username and then we type input type equals text, and that is because it is going to save text into it. Now let's give some name to this element. So for username, so let's name it as username. So we type username, and now let's go ahead and create a password field. So we type password, and to store it we are going to create another text box. So we type input type equals password, as it is going to store the password for us, and we'll name it as, let's say, pass. Now let's go ahead and add a submit button. So we type input type equals submit, and let's say the value of the submit button is also submit. So we type value equals submit. So we have successfully created a form. So in order to check it, we just open it up in a web browser, and as you could see we have a basic form with us. So this is going to accept the username and this is going to accept the password for us. So now once we have these things with us, as we are trying to access form elements, we go ahead and go into the script tag, and that is because that is where we are going to access the JavaScript. So now as we want to access form, initially we type document, then we want to access form, so we give a dot operator and type the form name, which is in this case new form. So that gives us the basic access for the form, and we have already done this thing in the previous tutorial. Now the thing which we need to do is we need to get access to the username and password, which are nothing but the form elements. So after this we again give a dot operator and then we use the element name. So in case if you want to access the username, so we type username. So this gives us an access to the username and which we could use. So once we have access to the username, let's say you want to print out the username, so you end the statement by using a semicolon, and let's use one variable to store the result. So let's say var a equals the result, and let's go ahead and display out the result by typing document dot write and just print out the value stored in a. So once we have this code with us, we go ahead and execute it on the web browser. So it is going to give us this element like object HTML input element, and that is because we have specified the value of username here. So as username is the input element, it is going to show us some value. Now what if we add the value of username right over here? So let's go ahead and give some value to the username. So let's say value equals, let's say the username is ABCD. Now if you want to access this value which is stored in username, you simply go after this username in JavaScript, give a dot operator and just type value keyword. So this value directly gives you access to this value right here. So now if you save the code and execute it, it is going to print out the value ABCD as it is present over here. So that's how you get basic access to the form elements. So basically what we have learned in this tutorial is that how you could name the individual elements just as we could name some forms, and how you could use those names of those elements in order to access them inside the JavaScript code. So I hope you understood how you could access the form elements in JavaScript. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.